What I want to show you right here is the list of videos that I've now completed for what I call the everyday list. This is math that I think everybody ought to know. The first thing on this list, and it's what you're listening to now, is the Joy of Math discussion. Then what happens is I have two videos on numbers, and they're called real numbers, and I have one on introduction and one on operations of real numbers, and this is making sure you know how real numbers work and how to use calculators. Then we have several videos on geometry. I have an overview, and these videos last varying lengths, 15 minutes, 18 minutes. The overview here is 7. We talk about angles, a very fundamental concept. Then I talk about the most fundamental concept of geometry, which is 15 minutes. Triangles, similar triangles is a very important subject. Quadrilaterals, that's things like rectangles and squares and so forth, and circles. These are the basic things that you need to know in geometry to do everyday problems or vocational math. Over the years, because I am a mathematician and a lot of my friends and colleagues know that, I've had people come to me many times with a math problem from the real world. It could be gardening, or it could be cooking, or it could be hydraulics troubleshooting or electronics, and ask me questions, and most of the time the answers I've been able to answer didn't involve any more math than what was in these introductory courses. I now have three topics that I discuss on algebra. The longest one is what I call linear equations, which will cover most of the algebra you'll ever need to do, and it's very easy to learn, but it's the longest one. It's 43 minutes. And then I give you a basic treatment of trigonometry. This is all part of the everyday math. Now, there are many more videos for the serious student that goes beyond this, and even more videos for advanced students and for business math. But this is where you should start, I believe. No matter what your background is, even if you have a PhD in math, I think you might enjoy the treatment I give to these subjects. Obviously, the more you know already, the less you're going to learn that is new. But I find myself that every time I think about the subject, I learn it and understand it a little bit better, because there's always lots of different ways to look at it. And so I think this will be worthwhile. I think this will be particularly worthwhile for high school students and for high school teachers. I think you'll learn a lot from this. I talk quite a bit about the controversy of using calculators in the teaching of math and whether that's good or bad, and I'll just give you a quick analogy. If you were going to teach someone carpentry and how to build things with wood, would you restrict them just to using a handsaw and a hammer, or would you allow them to use a power saw, for example? To me, a calculator is like a power saw, and it will make the learning of carpentry much easier. It'll make the performance of carpentry much faster and much better than if you just used a handsaw. And the old paper and pencil methods that I learned and that are still being taught sometimes can really handicap the learning of math. It can slow it down, and it can actually turn people off. And quite frankly, I don't think that it's of much value. I rarely anymore use any of the algorithms that I learned and taught for so many years before calculators came along, because it's just not necessary now. So I'll have a lot more to say about that as we go through these things. I hope you enjoy the videos. They all add up here, these everyday videos, the everyday math I talk about. There's 13 of them altogether, and they add up to about 4 hours. So I think it's pretty remarkable that you can learn probably everything you need to know to do everyday math in 4 hours with 13 videos. I can tell you that 95% of the problems that people have brought to me, I can solve using the content that's here. Now, if you want to get into engineering and science, you need a lot more math than what's going to be in these everyday videos. Then you need to get into the serious student math and the advanced math. And indeed, if you want to become a mathematician, you're going to need a lot of the advanced math topics. Plus, of course, they're very interesting. I'm hoping that this will stimulate you as you learn the basic math, and that you will then be inspired to go on into the more advanced topics for the serious student, the advanced student. I might add, they're not any harder than this. Math is really not a really difficult subject if it's approached properly. It's kind of like climbing a ladder. It's not very hard to climb from rung number 38 to rung number 39 once you get there. But if you're down at rung number 5, it's very hard then to get to rung 38 immediately. That's often what happens in math training. Somebody will be down in rungs 5 or 6, and all of a sudden they're talking about things that are up on rungs 18 or 19, and that's just too much of a stretch. You have to climb the ladder one step at a time, and that's what these videos will be designed to help you do. So I encourage you to kind of go through these in the sequence that they're given here. We have a website, zetaofs.com, that I will put in the tag at the end of this, and I invite you to email me questions or comments. I encourage you to enjoy these videos. I hope you can use them in your life, and if you're a teacher, I hope they help you in your teaching. And other than that, that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you in this introduction. I hope you enjoy it as I have enjoyed it, and I will see you and talk to you in the next video. So this is Dr. Dell signing off. Have a great life.